The highest-grossing film of all time is Avatar, which earned over $2 billion at the worldwide box office. Or is it? Well, if we adjust for inflation, Avatar would be ranked number 7 on this list. So how much do you have to earn in today's money to be the highest-grossing film of all time? It turns out that you need to earn just shy of $3 billion. Though which films have managed to achieve that, and how much higher can we go? Well, here are the top 5 highest-grossing films of all time when adjusted for inflation. So just before we get into the video, I wanted to say a huge thanks to a supporter for suggesting this topic. We've got their name down at the bottom of the screen now. If you want to suggest a future idea, be sure to check the link in the description down below. And also don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an awesome business case study. Thanks for your support. Starting off in 5th place, we have Titanic, which was released back in 1997. This iconic love story set on the ill-fated ship earned an outstanding $659 million at the worldwide box office. In today's money, that would be equal to just shy of $1.2 billion, which would rank the film at no 8 on our list. Titanic went on to become the highest-grossing film of all time until Avatar knocked it off its perch some 12 years later. Even though it fell to 2nd place, Titanic has remained one of the most popular films of all time and continues to be re-released in theaters around the world every couple of years. It has been almost 25 years since it first came out, and yet Titanic still manages to pull in tens of millions every time it hits the big screen. A testament to just how great this movie is. Moving on to 4th place, we have Star Wars, Episode 4, A New Hope, which was released back in 1977. This iconic space adventure was a game-changer for the film industry. It was the highest-grossing film of all time for 20 years, only being knocked off its perch by the aforementioned Titanic. When adjusted for inflation, Star Wars, A New Hope's $775 million box office gross would be equal to $3.6 billion in today's money, which would rank it at no 4 on our list. The impact of Star Wars is undeniable. It created one of the most beloved sci-fi universes of all time and spawned numerous blockbuster sequels, TV shows, books, video games, and more. And despite its age, it still holds up as one of the greatest adventures ever told. Coming in 3rd place, we have Gone with the Wind, which was released in 1939. This epic romance set during the American Civil War was a massive hit, with an initial release taking in $390 million, which would be equal to nearly $7 billion in today's money. That means that if the film was released today, it would be the highest-grossing film of all time, which is absolutely insane considering it came out nearly a century ago. Despite its age, Gone with the Wind remains a timeless classic that continues to be enjoyed by audiences today. Its characters are iconic, and its story is both epic and unforgettable. However, it's important to note that while the film is a cultural phenomenon, it has also been criticized for its portrayal of slavery and the Confederacy. Nevertheless, its impact on cinema and American culture as a whole cannot be denied. In 2nd place, we have Avengers: Endgame, which was released in 2019. This superhero epic brought to a close the 9-year Infinity Saga, which had kept fans on the edge of their seats since the first Iron Man film back in 2008. Culmination of all that build-up resulted in a staggering $2.79 billion worldwide gross, which at the time was enough to make it the highest-grossing film of all time. But does that mean it's the best? Well, not quite. When adjusted for inflation, Avengers: Endgame's $2.79 billion box office gross would be equal to just shy of $3.4 billion in today's money, which would rank it at number 2 on our list. Despite its commercial success, Avengers: Endgame received mixed reviews from critics who felt that the film's length and complexity made it less impactful than it could have been. Nonetheless, it remains one of the most popular and culturally significant films of the 21st century. And coming in 1st place, we have Star Wars, Episode 7, The Force Awakens, which was released in 2015. This science fiction film was the first in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, and it marked the return of the iconic franchise after a gap of 10 years. Directed by J.J. Abrams, the film was a critical and commercial success, earning an astonishing $2.07 billion at the worldwide box office, which at the time was enough to make it the highest-grossing film of all time. But does that mean it's the best? Well, not quite. When adjusted for inflation, Star Wars: The Force Awakens' $2.07 billion box office gross would be equal to just shy of $2.4 billion in today's money, which would rank it at number 1 on our list. While some critics felt that the film was too derivative of the original Star Wars trilogy, it was praised for its visuals, action sequences, and performances from the cast. Ultimately, Star Wars: The Force Awakens was a massive success that reignited interest in the franchise and left fans eagerly anticipating the next installment. A few things really stood out to me when researching this topic. Firstly, I was surprised at just how high up the list Titanic was. I knew it was a massive film, but I didn't realize just how big it really was. And secondly, I was shocked at just how many of the top spots were held by Star Wars. It's clear that this is one of the most successful film franchises of all time. And I think it's just safe to say that Disney is making the most of the Star Wars brand with new content being released on Disney Plus on a regular basis. If there's one thing that I took away from this topic, it's that the film industry has changed so much over the years. Back in the day, it was much easier for a film to be a massive hit because there was simply less competition. As an example, look at Gone with the Wind. This film came out in 1939, and it made over $390 million. If we annualize that figure and then adjust for inflation, Gone with the Wind would have earned over $7 billion in today's money. It's just crazy to think that even the biggest films today don't come close to earning that amount. Just last year, the highest-grossing film was Top Gun: Maverick, which earned just shy of $1.5 billion. Another thing that I found interesting is that the top 5 highest-grossing films are all blockbusters. This makes sense to an extent because blockbusters are typically big-budget productions that are made with the intention of appealing to a wide audience. However, it also means that there is a lot of pressure to make sure that these films are successful. After all, if a film doesn't perform well at the box office, it could be a financial disaster. That's why it's so important for studios to do their research and make sure that they're reinvesting in projects that have the potential to be big hits. On that note, one way that studios are mitigating the risk of a big-budget film flopping is by turning to nostalgia. This is particularly evident in the film industry where there has been a trend towards remaking or rebooting classic films. For example, Disney has been particularly successful with this strategy. In recent years, they've released live-action remakes of several of their animated classics, including The Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, and Aladdin. These films have been hugely successful at the box office, grossing billions of dollars worldwide. The reason for this success is that they appeal to both nostalgic adults who grew up with the original films and to a younger audience who are discovering these stories for the first time. However, this strategy is not without its risks. Some critics argue that these remakes are unnecessary and that they lack the originality and creativity of the original films. Nonetheless, it seems like nostalgia will continue to be a big factor in the film industry for the foreseeable future. As we move forward, it'll be interesting to see what other classic films get the remake treatment, and whether or not they can live up to the expectations of both critics and audiences. So there you have it, the top 5 highest-grossing films of all time when adjusted for inflation. Did your favorite film make the list? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like it and subscribe so you never miss an awesome business case study. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.